Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and I hope that you're having a wonderful day. I'm here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe wants to share with us, especially in regards to having patience, slowing down, not rushing things, not getting all flustered and frustrated and trying to power through and push things through, remembering to breathe. So let's take a look at the cards and see what the universe wants us to know. So we have smoky quartz. Let it go. Let it go. You don't need to fixate and obsess and just freak yourself out. You can surrender. You can hand it over to the divine. You don't have to control everything. If things aren't going according to your plan, you can breathe and you can let it go. You can choose to release. You don't need to force things. Like, I'm over here house and pet sitting for the boys that I help out with, and they're on vacation. But on the way over here, there was this guy driving behind me. He kept riding my bumper. He just kept riding my bumper. I wasn't even going slow. I was going the speed limit, and I'm just like really wondering why he was such in a rush. And so I'm getting ready to turn on the street. He goes flying around me, and it's just like, you can slow down. Like, you don't need to work yourself up. I get it sometimes, time pinch and can get in our emotions and emotions can be running high and all that, but we can let that go. Like, is it really that important? Life is unpredictable. It's full of the unexpected. Life can throw us curveballs. There's going to be storms. There's going to be, things, hiccups, challenges, all those things. And like, what energy are we bringing to it? And I'm not saying this as I'm better than everybody. Like, this is advice for myself too, because I've gotten worked up over things before. I'm doing better about it now because I'm trying to be more mindful and intentional and purposeful with what I choose, what I tell myself, what energy I associate with, what I focus on. But give yourself plenty of time to leave. Realize that, things happen and there's a divine plan. The universe has divine timing. So, maybe you running late, if that's what was going on, is for a reason. Maybe it's to protect you. Maybe you would have got caught up in a bad accident if you had been, quote unquote, on schedule. Let it go and trust. Remember to breathe. It doesn't have to be so complicated. We don't need to work ourselves up and get ourselves flustered and start running around like a chicken with our heads cut off. We're meant to enjoy life. We're meant to enjoy life. You can let that go. If you heard any noise in the background, that's their dog, Pearl. Yeah. Hematite. Ground yourself. Ground yourself. Don't be, freaking out. Have a solid foundation. Choose to build your life upon a foundation of peace, trust, ease, stability, resilience. Know that you can overcome. Know that you are strong enough, capable enough, smart enough, resourceful enough, resilient enough to overcome whatever challenge are in your path. And also get grounded and ask yourself, is it as big a deal as I'm making it out to be, or am I making a mountain out of a molehill? Now, that's not to say things aren't important, but my family, my mom in particular, likes to blow things way out of proportions and act like you have to go to war over the smallest things, and like it's the biggest slight ever to her, and like it's the end of the world. And it's like, okay, you don't like it. Okay, it's frustrating. Okay, it's not to your preference. Okay, it's, irritating, frustrating, not cool, whatever you want to, like, okay. But it's not that, like, earth-shattering. Not to be mean, not to downplay your emotions. You're allowed to have your human emotions and your human experience, but you are feeding way much more energy into this than is necessary. And it's your choice. If that's how you want to live your life, by all means, but the universe is encouraging us to let go and get grounded, to have that inner stability, to have that inner peace, that no matter what's going on around us, the external world will have its storms, will have its chaos, will have the things popping up. We don't need to let that rob our peace. We don't have to let that rob our inner calm, our well-being, our happiness. We don't have to let it control us. We can choose what we subscribe to, and we can foster inner peace, inner strength by grounding ourselves and choosing to let go of what does not serve. Yeah, turquoise. Prioritize your health. And this is the universe saying, prioritize your health and let it go. Get grounded. Be honest and real with yourself. Is it that big a deal? Do you really need to cling on to this? Do you really need to freak out and get anxious and upset and frustrated and lose your mind over it? Because you've seen the people who blow up over the smallest thing. Like, maybe you cross their path and they're acting like you're trying to fight them and thwart them and all that. And it's like, whoa, chillax. Prioritize your health and well-being and your peace of mind, because it's so unhealthy to live life that way, especially if you're like that all the time. Yeah, we all have bad days. We should, strive to do our best, but it's like, we're human. We're not going to do it perfect. Some days are going to be really rough, but if you're constantly living in fear and anxiety and, feeling like you have to rush and, never stopping to relax, to rest, to breathe, it's not going to go well for your health. The universe wants you to let it go. You don't have to live a chaotic, busy, hectic lifestyle. That's draining you. It's robbing you of your peace and well-being. You don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. The universe is saying no more of that, please and thank you. Have patience. Take a chill pill. Slow down. Slow down. Yeah. Look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. Is it really as big a deal as you're making it out to be? Not that it doesn't matter at all. Not that you can't care about it. Not that, you can't have your preferences. Not that, going faster can be nice and having instant gratification. But are you trying to rush the process? Is that going to harm you? Are you trying to cut corners? Will that blow up in your face? It's like planting seeds and trying to rush them to grow. It's just like, if you're trying to rush the process, it has its own natural divine timing. And if you try to rush it, you could be doing yourself more harm than good. If you're constantly running around all frantic and frazzled and stressed out, you're harming yourself. What's that going to mean for you in the long run? Look at the big picture. Because small things will add up to be major problems. What are you doing to your body by carrying around all this frantic, stressed out energy, by trying to rush and force things and control everything, when the only thing you can control is how you choose to show up, what you choose to focus on, who you give your time, energy, and attention to, what you give your time, energy, and attention to, You can't control outside external forces like other people, traffic, the weather. You have no control over that. If there's a train and you're all stressed out because the train's gonna make you late, you can't control if the train's there. You can try to find another way to get around the train, but you can't control if the train's there. That's out of your control. Look at the big picture. Yeah. Nothing will come of this situation. Void of course moon. Yes, by trying to force to constantly be running around ragged, being a chicken with your head cut off, getting all anxious and flustered and frustrated, and just not having any patience, not having any peace, not being able to slow down, constantly trying to race around to do everything. Nothing good will come of that. You're only harming yourself. The universe wants you to say, hey, pause, time out, reflect, get mindful, get intentional. Is this really helping you? Look at the big picture. Prioritize your health and well-being. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah, nothing will come of the situation because emotions are running high. Supermoon. Emotions are running high, and when your emotions are running high, you need to ground yourself, because when emotions are running high, you don't think clearly. You start acting rash. You start blindly reacting and having those emotional explosions that are volatile. You're getting triggered. That's why the universe wants you to slow down, to remember to breathe, to let things go. Slow and steady wins the race. You don't need to rush. Instant gratification can be nice in the moment, but long term, it may not be what you need. Look at the big picture. Take a time out, take a break to cool your head, to let your emotions simmer down. Because when your emotions are at their boiling point, that's when explosions happen. Emotions are running high. So calm down. Take a chill pill. Take a chill pill. Yeah, because when you do, when you can clear your head, when you can calm down, prosperity will lie ahead. Human and Taurus. But you have to change your approach. You have to be mindful of your mindset, the perspective, the energy that you're bringing to the situation. Where are you focusing on? Are you focusing on not having enough time? Are you focusing on how everything's going wrong? Are you focusing on how things are irritating you and frustrating you and they're not right and they're not going according to plan? It's like, is that helping you? Because it's not, like, don't deny the truth. Don't deny reality. I'm not saying to sidestep it, to sweep it under the rug, to pretend, but where are you focusing on? Sure, see the reality for what it is. You know, if you're running late for this, that, or the other reason, you know, whether it be kids, family members, pets, traffic, whatever it is, okay. Be open, honest, and real. The situation is what it is, but what perspective do you want to bring to it? What energy do you want to bring to it? You know, like, if you're running behind because of traffic, okay, how can you make the situation better for yourself? Because you can't do anything about the traffic. You can try a different route, you know, but how can you make the process of traffic more enjoyable? Because the traffic's not going anywhere. Can you listen to some uplifting music? Can you listen to, you know, a video or a podcast or an audiobook, something to make the time you have to wait, because the traffic isn't going anywhere, easier, more enjoyable? And when you have this shift, when you start focusing on the positive, the bright side, the silver lining, how to make things more enjoyable, rather than focusing on everything you don't want, everything that's frustrating you, everything that's quote unquote going wrong, that's where the prosperity lies. That's where it lies. But you have to be mindful of your emotions and your mindset and your energy, because when you're all riled up and frustrated and irritable and you're, you know, popping off and lashing out at people and your emotions are running high, nothing's going to come of that situation. You need to let it go and get grounded, focusing on your well-being, because I'll be honest, my family has so many health problems and they're stressed out and like all these things. And it's because of the energy they're bringing to things. It's because of where they're focusing and their mindset and their outlook, going on about how everything goes wrong, nothing goes right. They're expecting the worst so they don't be disappointed. It's like, when you put out that energy, why are you surprised about the harvest? You planted those seeds, you watered them every day. You reap what you sow. The energy you put out comes back to you. Not to be mean, but get real mindful and intentional of what you're doing. Don't be like my family. It doesn't go over well. It's sad, but it's true. Yeah. The octopus, flexibility. The universe wants you to get flexible. It wants you to get open-minded. It wants you to open your heart. It wants you to be adaptable and think of things from different perspectives. You know, try to bring different energies to the situation instead of your normal go-to. If you're always trying to rush, you're always getting frustrated and impatient, how can you be flexible with the situation? How can you go with the flow? Go with where you're currently at. Make the most of the current situation you've been dealt, because you can't magically change the situation. There are going to be those times, those days that are rough, that are not to your preference. It happens. You know, like let's say you didn't sleep well. Okay, that's your reality right now. It sucks. I've been there plenty of times. Like, there have been times where I wasn't able to fall asleep at all. And it sucks. I know, like, we're human, and being human can be really hard sometimes, but how can you be flexible? How can you make the most of that situation you've been dealt? Can you take things off of your plate? Can you delegate? Can you completely change your itinerary or plans for the day so you can rest, so you can take it easy, so you can breathe, so you can pause? Or, you know, if it's raining and you were supposed to go to an outdoor event, what can you do instead? Can you rearrange your schedule? Can you postpone the event? Like, let's say you were going to meet up with friends at a park. Can you do that another day? Maybe you can have a board game night or a movie night, or you can, you know, make pizza or whatever. Like, maybe you can switch it up, be flexible. Because if you bring more flexibility to the situation, that's where the prosperity lies, you know? Yeah. Be flexible, but also be creative. The spider, creativity. There are creative solutions. You don't have to be rigid and have, you know, one size fits all solutions and plans for everything. Go with the flow. Be adaptable. Be creative. See how you can make the most of the situation, because you're dealt the cards you're dealt, you know? How can you make the most of it? How can you bring more enjoyment? Can you be grateful for the change in plans? Maybe, you know, since the universe knows better, it knows all of the components at play, it could be protecting you, and it's like, maybe this works out for the best, even though it's not according to your plan, even though you might be like running late or something. Is there a way to get creative to make it work out in your benefit? Maybe you can postpone things, you know? How can you be creative, adaptable, and flexible? Because it's going to work out into your benefit if you can. Yeah. Accept. You will receive what is as it comes. That's the thing. The universe wants you to breathe, to have patience, to pause, to go with the flow, to accept. It is what it is. You know, if you've been dealt a not preferable hand for the situation for the day, whatever it is, okay. Not much you can do about that. Like, if you weren't able to sleep much or at all, not much you can do about that. So what can you do from moving on to make it easier on yourself, to make it more enjoyable? You know? How can you do better? How can you make it easier on yourself? Yeah. Pause. May moments of calm sustain you. That's the thing. Like, if you can accept what is and you can pause, like, it's going to go so much further for you. It is. And, you know, it can be easier said than done. But sometimes just taking that small breather, that small timeout, that small break can help you reset, can help you clear your head, can help you start fresh and see things from fresh eyes and bring a new energy to it. You can choose how you want to move forward. Remember to breathe. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Yeah. Decide. May you navigate with purpose. You get to choose. You get to choose how you move forward. You get to choose what energy you bring to the situation. You get to choose how you perceive it, what narratives you're telling yourself, what you decide to do, how you handle the cards you've been dealt. You have say over yourself. You don't have control over other people, over external factors like traffic, the weather, what have you, but you get to decide for yourself. You have the power of free will and choice. So choose intentionally, choose purposefully, be selective, be mindful, be aware. You get to choose. You get to choose. Yeah, joy. May you pursue what lights you up. Do what brings you joy. Do what brings you peace. You get to choose. Yes, there are plenty of things outside of your control, but you have a say in the energy you bring to the table, that how you choose to perceive it, the narratives you choose to tell yourself about it, how you choose to respond. You can blindly react, you can get all triggered and explode, or you can choose to be more mindful and intentional and purposeful with your actions. And you can choose to do things that bring you more joy, bring you more peace, bring you more clarity, bring more lightheartedness and fun. It's up to you. You have the means to make it happen, but it's up to you. You have to choose. So get grounded with joy and choose to let go what does not serve. Let it go. I let go and allow the universe to do her thing. Yeah, choose to let go. Choose to release. Choose to purge what does not serve. Let go and allow. Surrender. Because the universe is not going to let you down. It has your back. It has not forgotten you. It's not forsaken you. It's not abandoned you. Believe it or not, it's guiding you and helping you get to your highest. It's working anything and everything to your benefit, even if you're running late, even when things are seemingly going awry. It's like the story of the Chinese farmer. All the neighbors are coming in going, oh, that's bad luck. Oh, that's good luck. But it's just like everything that they claimed was bad luck turned out to be good luck, When the horse got out, oh, what bad luck. But then it brought back more wild horses, and then one of the wild horses broke the son's arm. And they're like, oh, what bad luck. But then it's what's prevented him from getting enlisted in the Chinese army. So let go and allow, because the universe has a better idea, a divine plan, divine timing than what you know. So you can let go and allow. When I honor my feelings, I find my power in powerless situations. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of times we get impatient, we get frustrated and flustered and anxious and start rushing and, trying to zoom around people and on the road and do all these rash decisions. It's because we feel powerless. But it's a lot of times because we're not allowing ourselves to be aware of our feelings, to feel them, to process them, to let them flow and let them go. That doesn't give us a free pass to, lash out at other people just because we have our feelings and we're feeling them, but we're not making it wrong to feel ways, and we're also allowing them to breathe. We're allowing ourselves to sit with them, to give them space, and then move on. So often, it's because we fixate on it and we obsess over it. Like with my family, they'll just keep fixating on the same thing, and then so it's like sets off this domino effect, and things keep getting worse and worse and worse, and then they'll be going on about how nothing goes right, everything goes wrong, and it's just like, you are not, like, you're disempowering yourself. You're not allowing yourself to feel. You're not allowing yourself to breathe. You're not giving yourself a chance to have a timeout, to break, have that break, to reset. But honor your feelings. Accept where you're at. It is what it is, but you can make the most of the situation. I make decisions from a place of intuition and power. That's the thing. Don't blindly react. Don't get triggered and make decisions from a place of powerlessness, of frustration, of impatience. Like you're not going to be making the best choice for yourself or anyone in the situation. Usually it's going to come back to bite you. You can be shooting yourself in the foot. You can be digging your own hole. Then you look around, it's like, how'd I get down here? It's like, you just kept digging. Be intentional and purposeful and aware as you make your decisions. Make it from a place of resonance, of being in alignment, of being in your power. You can make mindful choices. You can choose to pause, hit pause, step away, breathe. Like that's what I did with that toxic group and the narcissist. I got very much in my human experience, and emotions were running high, and I was tempted to blow up on him, like, no, let me step back, let me pause, let me breathe, let me process, because I know if I get in any kind of communication with them right now, it's not going to be pretty. I'm going to go scorched earth on them. And even though it may be, from a human perspective, justifiable, it's like, that's not who I want to be. I am giving away my power to them, letting them trigger me, letting them make me furious. And so it's like, no, I don't choose to play that game. I'm going to make decisions from a place of alignment, of what resonates with who I truly am. And you can do that too. That's why the universe is wanting you to be flexible and open, to look at the bigger picture. Yeah. Breathe. Inhale stardust, exhale magic. The universe wants you to breathe. You don't need to rush. You don't need to force things. Take a chill pill. Take a break. Take a breather. Take a time out. You can work through this. Do yourself a favor and breathe. Do yourself a favor and breathe. Yeah, discover. Spot new opportunities. You won't be able to spot new opportunities and discover if you're coming from a blindly reactive state where you're overly emotional, you're emotionally volatile and popping off and lashing out at everyone. How are you going to see new opportunities? All you're going to do is be seeing how everything's going wrong. You're allowed to be human, but you get to decide how you show up in this world. So how is it that you want to show up in the world? Is that choice going to help you that you're thinking about making? That's why the universe wants you to pause and breathe. So we have frying pan, trouble accusations. Yeah, this feels like you're getting yourself into quite the heated situation if you're letting your emotions run wild and get to the boiling point. So watch it. Watch how the temperature of situations, because it can get you into some tricky situations that you may not want to be in. Yeah. Lightning, control your anger or you will be sorry. Yeah, you're playing with some fire and you could get burned. Be mindful. You're allowed to have your emotions. You're allowed to have your human experience. You're allowed to feel what you feel. But you got to be careful, because just because you have your emotions and you have every right to feel them and they're valid, your emotions are valid, that doesn't give you a free pass to be running wild and causing this havoc because you can't control your emotions. You are lashing out at everyone, accusing other people, being like nasty, throwing all this hot mess energy everywhere. Like, you don't get a free pass for that. So watch it, or you'll be sorry. You reap what you sow, Yeah, haystack. Karma, you will reap what you have sown. So if you are choosing to be patient, if you are choosing to pause, to breathe, to reflect, to be mindful and intentional with how you're showing up, you will be rewarded for that. You will reap what you have sown. But if you're going around and you're zipping around, like I've seen it before where these people on the road are impatient and they're zipping around, they're flying around people, even if it's like one lane each way, they'll go and then they end up getting in a car accident because they couldn't slow down. They were in too much of a rush. They couldn't be patient. It's like you're gonna deal with the energy you put out. It'll come back to you. So be careful, be mindful, because you will reap what you've sown. Yeah. Skills, keep your life in balance. Remember to breathe. You need to have rest and action. You can't constantly be trying to power through, trying to rush things. Things take time. Planted seeds take time to grow. They take nurturing, they take watering, they take care in order to grow and flourish so you can harvest them. Keep your life in balance. Do yourself a favor. Take a break when you need it. Ant, work, achievement, success. And this feels like you have been putting in the work. You're doing the internal work to take care of yourself, to breathe, to process your emotions, to calm down, to slow down, to chill out, to not let your emotions reach that boiling point. And that's what's going to let you be successful. That's how the prosperity comes in, because you are slowing down. You are remembering to breathe. Rainbow. The most difficult part of the situation is over. Yeah. Building that awareness, remembering to breathe, setting that foundation for yourself, that's the hardest part. The hardest part is usually getting started. But once you get started, once you start getting in that groove, once it starts becoming a habit, it becomes easier and easier and easier. Yeah, eagle. Triumph over troubles, obstacles, that's the thing. If you can bring a more calm, peaceful, go with the flow, accepting, purposeful, intentional energy to things, it's going to go so much easier for you. Things that used to be seen as problems and obstacles, things that are just like would have set you off and had you flying off the handle and lashing out and going into a fury and getting all in a tizzy, it won't ruffle your feathers that way anymore. You'll be able to go with the flow. You'll accept, like, okay, these are cards I've been dealt. Now what do I do? What's the best way to proceed? How can I make the best of the situation? How can I make the most of what I've been given? And you're going to be able to soar. You're going to be able to soar. Yeah. Sun, happiness and well-being. It is going to be so beneficial for you to do this. It's going to bring in so much more peace, so much more joy, so much more happiness, so much more well-being. Again, the universe wants you to prioritize your health and well-being. And if you're flying off the handle in every which way, like the wind is blowing you every which way and just ruffling your feathers and working you into a tizzy, and you're losing your mind, running around like a chicken with your head cut off, that's not going to help you live a happy life. That's not going to help you live a peaceful life. That's not going to help you live a life of well-being. But having that internal foundation of peace, of being able to slow down, to breathe, to process, to make intentional decisions, that is going to set you up for success. But you got to remember to pause. You got to be purposeful when you decide. Yeah. Tankard, celebration, fun, enjoyment. You're going to be able to enjoy life so much more from this mindset. Again, with the, I love Uncle Iroh. If you look for the light, you can often find it. But if you look for the dark, that's all you'll ever see. With my family, they're saying nothing ever goes right. Everything always goes wrong. They're always expecting the worst. So it's just like, you're bringing that energy. So yeah, it's going to get harder and harder and harder for you. There's going to be struggle. There's going to be frustration. There's going to be upset. You're going to complain. You're going to try to fight the world. And it's just like, why not remember to breathe? Why not look for the bright side, the silver lining, reasons to be grateful? Yeah, it may not be to your exact preference, and that's valid. But if you can bring more peace, more ease, more fun, more joy, more love, more intentionality into your life, you're going to be able to celebrate and have fun and enjoy the ride. You'll be able to make the most of it. If you have to take a detour for whatever reason, you can turn it more into an adventure, something to be enjoyed. You're going to savor the moment. You're going to enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. It's up to you to decide, though. You get to decide how you show up in this world. But how you choose to show up will determine the ease. It will determine the outcome of your journey. It's not just about the end destination. It's about the journey along the way. So choose to let go more. Choose to release. Choose to surrender. Choose to allow and accept. Remember to breathe, because that's going to be in your benefit. It will open up new opportunities for you. It will lead you to prosperity. It'll lead you to peace, happiness, fun, success, enjoyment, celebration. You will reap what you sow. The energy you put out in the world comes back to you. So keep that in mind. I'm wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day. Please take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.